Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Salami. Today we are talking about Quake 4 on Steam Deck and an easy fix to get the most out of this game if you're going to play it this way. I didn't realize this at first, but it soon became apparent that there was something wrong with the graphics. And then after I show you how to fix your graphical settings, we're going to jump into my review for the game. So sit back, enjoy, and let's Quake it out. So on your initial load of the game, you do what you normally do is you go into your system settings and you go and max everything out. As that's what I did here when I first played through Steam Deck. And I'm going to just show you what the game looks like when you set everything to ultra and turn everything on. You'll soon find out that the textures in this game aren't working as intended. So this is what you're greeted with everything maxed out if you load Quake 4 out without any kind of modification. As you can see here, all the textures are very, very low polygon. And when I first loaded this up, I was very, very confused because I remember playing this on Xbox 360 and I did not remember it looking this bad, and it really threw me for a loop. So this is what it should look like. Hopefully this comes across on YouTube, but as you can tell, the textures look as they should. You do take a small performance hit, of course, with this. This game still is quite heavy on the Steam Deck, funnily enough, and you're not going to get a lot. The frame rate should be pretty solid, but it's not always going to be locked. But I would rather this than the fuzzy textures that we had before. So I'm going to show you how to make your game look like this. First things first is you're going to want to make your way over to the desktop and make sure you have an internet program installed, either Firefox or Chrome. And I have a link to this in the description below. And you just want to download this file. This is just basically an INI file to replace the current one that's in Quake 4. And I'm going to make a backup copy and save it to my Google Drive. So if it ever gets taken down, let me know and I can post up my INI file so it's always available. So what you want to do is go into your Steam, find Quake 4, and you're going to want to right click on it using the left trigger on your Steam Deck and then go to Browse Local Files. Once you've downloaded, and then you're going to head into here. And you're going to look for Cubase, this one here, Cubase. And then you're going to look for, you're going to see that there's the INI file here. So what I did is, you need it to be spelled exactly the same. So I just went in here and rename. If I go to rename, I just copied the name here in the .ini. Is a single thing. So you do that by pulling left trigger and then copy and then to accept with right trigger. And then I just deleted that INI file. I go to my downloads where it would have downloaded to, and you'll see that's the new one that we've just downloaded. We're going to rename it and we're going to just paste the INI file in there, or config file I should say. And we're going to paste that in there. And that's as easy as it is. Very straightforward. But it will, when you load up Quake 4, it will come up with a error as we'll go through the whole setup, just so you're not, you know how it goes. You can ignore that. I'll also go over controls later in this video after this, so you know I've got a control scheme available for download if you so choose to use it. And that will make things even easier, as this game does have controller support, but it doesn't recognize Steam Deck or anything like that, so you just have to use keyboard and mouse and then create your own. As you can see, we get this error here. We can just accept that, load up the game, back to the main menu here, and we're going to go down to settings. I accidentally click on updates because I'm a knobby. We're going to go to settings here, system, and we're going to, as you can see, it's already on ultra quality, which is what we want. We're going to go to widescreen and we can make it 1280 by 720. Now we can turn on all these settings, but please do not turn on anti-aliasing, as that breaks the config file and resets it. So no AA unfortunately, but honest, it's fine. You'll enjoy the game just the same. And that's it. We'll we'll load it. You need to reload the game for these effects to take effect, so we'll reload it and I'll see you back in game. So if you're wanting to get my control scheme, just head over to the community controls and just search King Salami, and you'll see King Salami Quake 4. And go ahead and activate that control scheme. You don't need to do any rebinds in Quake 4. Everything basically works out of the box with this. And I'll go over the basic controls for you, and we'll go from there. So it's as you expect. Right trigger is shoot, left trigger is your secondary, so aim down sight or do a charge shot, whatever it may be for that weapon. Bumpers cycle through your weapons, so left and right bumper go back and forward, and then we've got Y, turns on our flashlight and turns off our flashlight. A is jump, X is reload, and B is your interact button. It doesn't come up very often at all. You probably won't even use it that much, but it is there when you do need it, because most interactions on computer screens you kind of use the right trigger to click through, kind of like a mouse. And then you've got your left and right analog sticks for movement and shooting. Clicking in crouches. I also will say now, when you touch the right analog stick, it activates gyro, so just for that finer aiming. I actually found gyro quite nice in this game. It works really well and I would highly recommend it. And then on the left trackpad, we have a radical wheel with all of our weapons. So if you want to quick select a weapon instead of cycling through all of them, as there's 9 in total, which so quite a lot, you can quick select from a radial wheel. And then on our D-pad, up is quick save, down is quick load, and then left or right is your current objectives. Okay, that's basically all of the controls, and it works really well. And so with that, without further ado, let's move on to the final part of this video, which is my quick review of the title, because I really like it and I think it deserves some attention in 2025. It's honestly way better than I ever expected it could be. You are Kane, you are part of Raven's squad, and you are attacking the Strog homeworld. I don't really have a lot of base knowledge of Quake lore, as I've never played Quake 2, which supposedly has also a lot of story elements. Quake 4 was actually my introduction to Quake. I think I'd played Quake 2 on PS1 at some point way back in the day, but I honestly didn't know what was going on. And so I remember having Quake 4 on 360, as I said earlier. That was my first introduction. I think I hired it out from the video store and was blown away. But I remember it's quite a difficult game, and I remember struggling a lot with it. And even now, having quick save and all that definitely makes this game, you're going to be using quick save a lot. Your health and armor degrade very quickly. This is definitely a run and gun strafing shooter. You do not stand there and take pot shots. You run and gun as fast as you can so you don't get hit. With a good variety of weapons and enemy types, along with different scenarios. As you can see here, we're in a mech. You do ground-based combat, of course. You have a tank level. You have a turret level. They do add in a good amount of variety, along with like slower paced scenes where it only happens maybe once in the game, where you go on board like a Corvette cruiser that lands on the planet. And I thought maybe you went back to this on a regular basis to get new quests and missions, but no, you only really go there once for the entirety of the game, which genuinely surprised me, as I thought it was going to be like a hub where you could you went back to after each mission and then get sent back out, but that is not the case whatsoever. I think if you're looking for a bullshit shooter, this is a great choice. I really like the aesthetic, this dark, gritty sci-fi aesthetic with bodies and limbs that the Strog use as their art. Like, they use humans. They just basically recycle humans for their armies and to maintain their homeworld. There's a massive twist about halfway through the game. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say what it is, but it really is a really cool twist that adds the narrative for this isn't, overly strong, but it's good enough to keep you. It kept me invested till the end. They just don't make shooters like this anymore. Like I say, it's very straightforward, but the aesthetic, along with the gunplay and the gun types, you've got your normal rifles, shotguns. You have a nail gun. You have a sniper rifle, rocket launcher, grenade launcher, and later on you start getting into like gravity guns and stuff like that. But one of the cool things is throughout the campaign you see other space marines or marines that are with you on the planet, and by just virtue of talking to them, sometimes they will upgrade your weapons to have secondary effects, like the nail gun will have aim down sight and track, and your rifle will be able to do more damage, or your pistol does this or whatever. They normally only get a single upgrade, or be like shotgun can hold more shots and they upgrade the clip and stuff like that. So it's worthwhile talking to NPCs that you see around, because sometimes you may get a free upgrade. I'm not sure if I assume they're missable. Some are not missable, but some are, I think, possibly missable. So keep that in mind if you do play this game, to talk to NPCs to get your weapon upgrades, as they can be quite helpful. Moving on from there, the game is very difficult, as I said earlier. Again, you really want to be quick saving, pushing that up on the D-pad a lot to do quick saves, but be aware that you can make yourself into a very dangerous situation by doing a quick save, and then every time you reload from that, you could instantly die by instantly getting shot or something like that. So be a little bit cautious for where you quick save. Don't be in a firefight or anything like that, or you could end up with a broken save, which you can't really use. Apart from that, the voice cast is pretty solid. Music is okay. I don't think it's a very memorable soundtrack. It's nothing like Halo or Half-Life. The music is okay. There's a lot of ambience though. Like, funnily enough, they don't use music all that often. There's a lot of times where it's very quiet and you just hear sound effects. So if you're not massive into music, then that's fine. Me, on the other hand, I love music, so the more the better. But I still played through this campaign. It took me about 10-ish hours, and that was just on normal difficulty. As you can see here, we're making our way through, and we're moving a convoy of EMP bombs throughout the Strog planet, but it doesn't all go to plan. I definitely recommend Quake 4 if you're after an old school run and gun shooter and you've never played it before. You can pick it up for pennies on Steam, and you'll get to play something you probably haven't played before, and it runs reasonably well on Steam Deck. Like I say, if you do install the texture fix, the frame rate can be a little bit wonky. My recommendation is to make sure you turn on screen sync, and but don't use the Steam Deck's built-in frame pacer or frame locker, because it ends up getting uneven frames. Just put up with the unlocked frame rate. You can, in the config file, set your own frame rate lock, which I did, and it seemed to feel better, but I don't want to recommend it because I don't know if that was just me thinking it felt better or if it actually was. But if you want more information for that, please let me know, and I can tell you in the comments how to. I'll put in the description how to set your own frame rate limit, and you can copy and paste it into that config file if you so desire. But thanks for watching, guys. My recommendation is to play Quake 4 in 2025, and let me know if you used to play it in the past or if you give it a go now. Alright guys, catch us in the next one.